Backbending while pregnant can be confusing territory. There's a lot of mixed opinions about it out there. One reason that you may want to stop backbending is that we have a hormone in our body when we're pregnant that relaxes all of the ligaments and tendons and muscles all the way down to your feet. Your feet are changing, your hips are changing, your center of gravity is changing. So if you have any instability in your low back and you go into deep backbend, you can hurt yourself, and that's the last thing that you want to do while you're pregnant. The other factor is that there's a slight chance that if you backbend very deeply, very late in your pregnancy, you can detach the placenta from the uterine wall. Now, that doesn't happen often, and there's a lot of factors that would have to come into play for that to happen, but you might want to play it safe and stop backbending. The other side of that, though, is that all of a sudden your body has been taken over by a child, and that you might not feel like you have any space for the baby or any room, and the only thing you want to do is backbend. So I'm going to show you a couple of poses that I think are safe to do from the beginning of your pregnancy all the way to the very end, and they feel great. So this is a variation on camel. Camel might be a little bit too deep for that low back. So instead, we're going to bring your hips to your heels, your hands to the ground, and then you're going to lift your hips up and let your head and neck relax back. This feels really good. Roll the shoulders down your back and press into your palms. And then only lift your hips as high as feels safe and good for you. Now, if that feels too intense, the other variation on that is to keep your hands on the ground, keep your hips on your heels, and just lift your heart and let your head and neck relax back. That way you're not getting into the low back at all. And that's a good general rule for back bends, is to keep it in the upper back and not at all in your low back. Another pose that I love, and you can practice throughout your entire pregnancy, is bridge. So feet are about hip distance apart, and you're going to lay down on your back. The heels are by your glutes, and your middle index finger should touch that ankle bone. So bring the heels in. Pigeon toe your feet in a little bit. Press weight into your heels. Press weight into your palms. And lift your hips up. Clasp your hands behind you. Walk onto those back arms. And then press the clasped hands into the mat. Knees are about hip distance apart. Don't let them fall in or out. And really lift up. This should feel really good. Now, the other option to turn this into a restorative backbend is to use a block. So you take the block, lift your hips up, and the block can be horizontal if that feels high enough for you. And if you want to go deeper, then you bring your hips on the block vertical. You might have to wiggle it around until it feels comfortable. Walk onto the back arms and let your palms face up and let the weight of your body rest on your block. This is supported bridge. So you don't have to sacrifice your back bends while pregnant, but definitely just keep listening to your body as your body changes and honor it.